Stage right now, please welcome Jay-Z. Jizz.
How are you folk doing? Folkloric? Fucking folksy. It's the way to be. All right. Someone once told me the world is your oyster. It was like what, like a piss oyster? Or like an oyster oyster? Either way, I think it was a pearl joke. Ever since I moved back to the Midwest, everyone always pretends they can't pronounce my last name. So I started doing the same thing with really common names everyone's heard just to mess with them. Step Hen? Am I saying that correctly, sir? Step Hen, what the fuck is that? Right? It's not really your hen, but you married into the farm, so now it's kind of your hen. I went into the police station to pay my water bill, and they had a big Punisher skull on the wall. Now, I don't know everything about comic books, but I would imagine if the police were gonna cosplay as a superhero, there'd be, I don't know, Captain America, or like, I don't know, Batman, someone who collaborates with the police but abides by a code of conduct, instead of, I don't know, say a serial mass murderer whose first appearance in comics was as a villain sent to kill Spider-Man for money. I was having an argument with my friend, and they said, my point, if you will, is this. If I will, oh, I will. If I will what? What does that mean? You mean like if I hope or if I do? There's different levels to this shit. Maybe he was talking about my name. I guess I am Will. All right, didn't work. I was talking to this redheaded chick who said she is offended by the word redhead, right? And I guess I'd never put myself in those shoes, right? I always thought of it as like redhead, like a hot redhead, right? But I get it, right? Like if you're a hot chick, you'd be like, well, why does the yellow-haired chick get to be called a blonde, right? That's like a sophisticated word borrowed from another language. If you have brown hair, it's the same thing, right? You're not called a brownhead. You're called a brunette, right? Redhead, why are you calling me that? You calling me like some kind of communist or native? What, are you trying to persecute me? Right? But I mean, I get it. Like, but what's the alternative? The alternative is ginger, right? And that's kind of a slur. I mean, they consider it a slur. I don't think ginger is a slur, right? Because ginger is something you can go to the store to buy to put in your body, and it'll make you healthy, right? But I mean, then there's the fact that it's an anagram for another word, right? You wouldn't say the word nigger in conversation unless you're disparaging somebody. Or unless you're pointing out that you wouldn't use it in a conversation unless you're disparaging somebody, right? You wouldn't use beaner or spick in an ordinary conversation. I don't know. You wouldn't say the word chink, but that's kind of an exception because it is a valid noun. But you might as well go with a synonym like rift because it's also a very valid racial slur. But I mean, there was another part to that one, I don't remember it. I was watching the news, and they were saying something about the gay agenda. It's like, what's the gay agenda? Is that like a schedule book? What's on the gay agenda? Fucking the same sex, evidently. They say that marriage is going out of style, right? But I don't think it's an archaic concept. I just think that they should remodel it to comply with modern romance, right? Do you take this woman to be your lawfully wedded wife till death do you part, or until she fucks some other dude? Right? Be great. Hey, I'm Will. That's my time.